of YouTube creators and debunkers coming together for live roundtable chats, live debunks, guest interviews, and more. And tonight we have special guest Tommy Gronvold. We also have Pete Berube with Astronomy Corner. Shawn Hawkins and Tattiebogle are also joining the panel. Now, what are we going to get up to tonight? Well, we've got all kinds of crazy stuff. So let me hand it over to a man who is the one guy that strikes fear into those who dare teach pseudoscience just with a look of his voice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, we've got Jim Bojo.
Thank you very much indeed, Dick Dawson. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. I'm Jim Bojo. You're listening to the Midweek Shills Show, and we are the Shills. We've got some great videos to debunk. We've got some great panel members, and boy, do we have a good guest tonight. But before we get to all that, we're going to run you through the team to see who's here and find out what they've got to tell you about their respective weekly journeys through the world of woo. First up, Dick Dawson. How are you doing, mate? What have you been up to this week?
Oh, I'll be doing some stuff in the background for both World Model Feud and for the Shills, planning out the strategy of the World Model Feud live a little bit more. We're getting there. We've really started to figure out what we're going to be doing. So, keep watching. It's going to be cool.
Fantastic. That's great to know. Okay, and we got Jet Monkey in the room. How you doing, mate? Oi, oi! I hear a deathly silence. That's not very good. Are you there, Muddy? You look like you're on mute to me.
Yes, sorry. I was wandering around the house trying to find 4G.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I know you've been having a nightmare at the moment, haven't you? Look, how are you doing at the moment, mate? What have you been up to this week?
Not a lot, mate. I've been so busy at work. I've just sort of I put out me... I can't even remember the fucking video I put out. What did I put out? Someone fucking must know, because they must have watched it.
Well, look, if you want to find out, go over to the Drunk Monkey channel now and find out, because he has put something out. He just can't remember the name of it. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to point out? I know you've got your new channel coming. You got anything due for that one yet, or is that just on the way?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm actually. I'm now beginning to put together the video on the space shuttle disaster. So that's taken a bit of time because there's a lot of effort going into it and a lot of research.
Oh, yes.
So I did put up a small sort of about me and about the channel video up there, just to sort of just get people that have subbed the channel, give them something to look at and warm them up.
Absolutely. All right, brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed. All right, Dead Kennedy in space. Hello, mate. How are you doing today?
Hello. Thank you very much. I am doing excellent. How are you?
Oh, I'm brilliant, thank you. Now, have you been up to anything this week you want to tell people about?
Oh, yes. I have a fire lit under my ass today. After the really wild World Model Feud stream that we had yesterday, I've had a lot of stuff going through my mind, and a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. I've got a collab coming up with Blue Earth thing. Jumpmonk, if you want any help with the shuttle disaster video, I'd really love to help, because I'm really well versed on the shuttle program and the two disasters. So if you want to hit me up on that,
Absolutely. I mean, Casual Spaceman's done a really brilliant little bit, 2-minute bit that I'm going to use to open the video. So absolutely, yeah, would love that.
Awesome.
Well, that sounds amazing. Listen to that. A collaboration actually in the works. All right. Thank you very much indeed for that, guys. Next, we've got Tattiebogle on the team tonight. Hello, mate. How are you doing tonight?
All right, troops. How's it going, man? I'm doing fucking grand.
Fantastic. Now, have you been up to anything this week that you want to tell people about? Have you got anyone you want to shell out for?
To be quite honest with you, I've just been sitting enjoying the content for all you folks out there, particularly enjoying Mr. Jim Bell's and also Robert Legel's Fortnite streams. They've been fucking fantastic, man. Some good laughs on there.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no, I've been enjoying Robert's Fortnite solos. That's been excellent stuff. I've been popping in there all the time. All right, well, thank you very much indeed. Next, we've got Shawn Hawkins on the panel. How are you doing tonight, mate?
I'm all right, okay. I'm okay.
Brilliant stuff. Now, what have you been up to this week? I've seen you put out a whole bunch of videos. You did, was it Mr. Thrive and Survive today, and a whole bunch of stuff. You got anything you want to shell out for?
No, just sub to my channel. I'm less than 200 short of 1,000 subs.
Ooh.
Check out my t-shirt store. I have a I Am Not Mark Sargent t-shirt for sale.
Oh, excellent. Oh, right, brilliant. Well, look at that. That's a whole load of stuff for people to go out and look for there then. Okay, next on the panel, we've got Pete Berube in today. Hello, buddy. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man.
Well, what have you been up to this week? Have you got anything you want to be telling people about?
Yeah, well, I spent the last bunch of time working on this astronomy corner video, and as always, I'm out there taking shots of the moon and Jupiter and Saturn. So keep an eye on my Twitter page for those.
Ah, brilliant. All right. Well, yeah, that's excellent stuff. I've just been checking out your Twitter recently. I'm a little bit new to it, but I can recommend getting over there as well. Right, let's see. That's the main panelist. Now, pressing the buttons and spinning the wheels, I've got Mr. Robert Leger III. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Have you got anything you want to update people on this week, or just say hello?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows and goes to sub to Unirock too. He's shouted us out several times now on his stream. I figured we'd return the favor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I can recommend that for certain. Brilliant. Right now, finally, checking the comments and questions and generally making us all look good, as ever, it's the delightful Kiri Mack. Hello, Kiri. How are you doing? Have you got anything you would like to share this week?
Hi, I'm doing good. Just want to remind people that if they've got any questions or comments, at me in the chat, at the Shills. And that's just about it for me at the moment.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Well, thank you very much indeed. Okay, well, I'm Jim Bojo. I talk to people. Apparently, my cat just talks. So if you want to see that, get over to my channel now. Lovely stuff. Right, well, that's the team. Now it's time to meet the guest. He's a fearsome debater and a well-known and respected debunker. He's tackled everyone from people like Riley and Oakley and even Multi-Tom at one point, I think. I can't remember. To all the Nathans, all the idiots in between. But he has a special focus on sort of practical experiments and observations. You know him. We love him. It's the one and only. It's Tommy Gronvold. Hello. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Brilliant. Wow, close enough's good enough for me. Hello there, Tommy. Look, it's a pleasure to meet you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, you too. I'm doing great.
Lovely stuff. Now, for those who don't know you, just on the off chance we've got anyone in who hasn't seen your channel or hasn't had a chance to watch some of your videos at least, how would you describe yourself in a nutshell for people listening now?
I do most my videos on daily observations and 3D models. So I keep to the geometry, not all that other stuff.
Ah, lovely stuff. Yeah, no, that's a reasonable point. Now, how long, roughly speaking, have you been in the community?
It's been a little over a year since I saw debunker saying the Earth is flat. And I started making videos in early October last year.
Oh, blimey, fair enough. So it's been a little while now then. I mean, certainly you're a well-known face in the community. I've seen a lot of you. All the panel know you. What is it that really triggered you properly to start? I mean, did it take a long time for you to think I want to do something, or was it just enough to hear that one comment?
Well, I stumbled upon debunker in March or April, and then I just plowed through a whole lot of videos during the summer. And I thought I need to do some, not research, but collect some reasons for why people think the Earth is flat. And then
right.
During the late summer, I saw Soundly and Slash Barcane, and I started to do my own stuff based on those.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's very interesting indeed. See, I didn't really sort of know. I sort of saw you appear out of the woodwork, and 1 minute you were there, and one minute you weren't, as it were. Now, like at the moment, is there anything that you've got in the way of work that you'd like to draw people's attention to? Like it could be stuff in the pipeline that's on its way, stuff you've just brought out, or even, I don't know, a project, another content creator, anything, source, place, or person?
Yeah, I had a video just a few hours ago where I did not burn my hand off with some fireworks.
We watched that, yeah.
ISS been bombarded with hot particles. And later on I'm going to do some more observations on the end of the world with the wind turbines below eye level and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to travel a bit around and do some photography and something.
I see. Oh, well, that's lovely stuff. Well, look, I'm going to turn, first of all, to Kiri Mack. I want to see whether or not there's any comments or questions that are appearing from the people watching that she'd like to raise.
We have no questions as yet, but we do have a couple of comments. One of them from Forrest Pfeiffer, who says, Tattiebogle and Kiri Mack on the same show. I'm glad there are closed captions for all the non-Scots out there. I think the in joke being that I'll translate for Tatty if anybody needs it, but I'm quite excited to see what the subtitles come up with because they don't always pick me up right either.
Yeah, it can be a bit unusual.
Mr. Victory says, Thursday evening with the Shills, it's better than a dancing penguin at your front door. So,
hey, brilliant stuff. That's good to know.
All right.
Right, anything else to go, or is that your lot?
that's your lot for now. At me at the
Brilliant
Shills.
stuff. All right, well, lovely. Don't forget, at Kerry Mack at the Shills. Make sure that if you've got any questions or comments, and we would love to hear your comments or questions, we will be reading them out. So make sure you think up something, send it in now, and we'll get it to the panel or the guest as soon as we can. Speaking of the panel, let's turn to them now. So I want to know if any of the guys listening in our little group here have got any questions or comments that they'd like to raise for Tommy at the moment. I know I've got one or two, but I thought I'd go around and see if anyone's got anything. Would anyone like to just jump in, apropos of nothing, straight away?
Well, some people are saying that, flat Earth is really dying. And I've heard other people saying that, it's just one of those ebb and flow things, because as bigger personalities leave, other ones will grow in and take their place, and it'll refire and kind of get its steam going again. Tommy, what do you think on that? What camp are you in?
I've been in this circus now just for about a year, but what I've seen so far is the same excuses go over and over again. But now the latest few weeks or months, they're trying desperately to find new excuses for just about anything. So I think it is going up and down, but it has to die out pretty soon.
Do you think it'll completely disappear, or do you think it'll be one of those things that sort of goes onto the back burner for a few vague nutters like JFK or something?
Yeah, it's going to go on for a long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At least until 2024, when we actually go to the moon and settle.
No, because then we have CGI.
Well, yeah, but I think it's just going to be so fucking overwhelming once we really because we're not just going to pop up there and come back like we did before, are we? We plan on, staying there. I mean, there will always be the fucking ones that will just deny. But I think that's going to hit them hard. And space and space tourism especially is really going to give them a right good kick in the fucking balls.
Oh, tell me about that. That'd be the end of it.
Well, speaking of space tourism, I'm at the moment right now working on a secret project where I'm rounding up the venture capital for a hotel in space, the Space Comma.
Nice. Well, it's not much of a fucking secret now, though, is it?
Well, I had to get
accommodations.
Yeah, it'll
I
be.
beg your pardon, I missed that.
Oh, the Space Comma Hotel.
Nice. Sorry, you dropped out for me. My mistake.
Well,
right, lovely sec. Now, okay, I've got a question that I particularly want to ask because it's about your last video. Now, I thought it was brilliant. You lit a firework in the house, which, of course, I'd never have got away with as a child, and then you aimed it at your hand. Now, that might sound slightly ludicrous, but perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what you did and why for people listening, because it was about 1 minute and 10 long, but it was a perfect little explanation.
I saw Jimmy Fallon's show here about a few weeks ago where he did exactly the same thing with bigger fireworks. And this is the one I used is for indoor use for cakes and stuff, so it's pretty harmless. And this was a 3-pack, and I had used 2 other ones to practice. So I had the third one going. And I had it just as close. There's a flame in the middle, and I avoided that one. But the particles hit my hand, and it almost didn't feel like anything. It just feel a touch, not a hit.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, this is it, because it's an argument that we've heard quite a lot. Now, the Drunk Monkey, I think you've got something you wanted to add, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, when I used to live in Norway, one New Year's Eve, and that was the coldest experience of my life that night. But my friends took me down the Berube or harbour to let off some fireworks, and they were we met up with some friends and they were shooting them sideways. So I said to my mate, why are you shooting them sideways? Why aren't you shooting them up? And he turned around and said, because they're shooting at us.
That's nice.
Scary.
Fucking hell.
That's funny.
That's true.
Oh my God! Well, that's a wonderful tale to tell around the Christmas fire, isn't it? Look, I want to ask a couple of questions about the people that you have debunked so far, because you've done a few. But I wondered if you've got any favourite flirts or favourite claims, Tommy.
I have a favorite fan, who's Gary Wybenga, but I had to block him because it was just too painful.
Poor guy.
Right now, on my latest video, I got what's his face? Heliocentric suicide. Called me what a moron.
Not come across that guy. Is he interesting? Got any new claims, or is it just the same old waffle in a different angry accent?
Yeah, just what a moron. That's it. Nothing.
Oh God, it's depressing, isn't it? Because this is the thing. You've been examining a lot of these claims recently. You're one of the people who goes out and does these sort of, the scientific evaluation, even if it is in a very simple observational sense. Have you ever had any? Well, of all the claims that you've had to have a go at, what's your favourite so far?
Oh, that's a good one. Again, Gary Wybenga comes up. He has a lot of strange things. So, always like the horizon rises with eye level. That's so easy to debunk, and still they believe in it. I just can't understand why.
Fair enough. Now, I'm wondering at this point sorry, head on.
I have the wind turbines on my observations from the end of the world. They're 1,000 feet tall and below my eye level of 70 feet or something. And still it's just perspective. So.
Well, this is it. I mean, it does make you wonder that simple fact of something being below your eye line that's too big to be below the eye line without it colliding with the ground. Jumpmonk's got this brilliant argument about when he's arguing people like Sleeping Warrior or something, when they try and get him lost on the science, what he does is, no, you're not a scientist, I'm not a scientist. Explain a fucking sunset, right? How is it that the sun is half underneath the ground and below eye level at that point? It makes no sense unless it's literally crashing into the earth. And it's one of those ones you can apply to the wind turbines, because you see the blades colliding with the ground and you're like, well, they would be exploding unless the sea was in the way somehow, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, I see Dead Kennedy in space. I think he's got something he wants to add.
I'm curious, Tommy, because you're big into the math and the geometry of it, and that's something that interests me, because I think geometry is one of the most killer things for flat Earth. It does not look good for flat Earth when you use just geometry. So my question is, do you have a single what you would consider the single best globe proof that involves geometry?
Yeah, that would be it. That one, and I have like Rory, the Horizonator, where it had a picture of the horizon just above the straight board. And then just push it towards it, so then you have the curvature, and that I did from 70 feet or 22 meters. So that's possible for anyone.
That's awesome.
And Tommy, Tommy, have you ever came across that guy? He's the guy. He just does not understand anything. But he's been on a tangent over magnets. And have you come across this guy?
Yeah, I made one video about him. My high IQ research is called, with him doing the magnets. And I just went in my son's room and got the experiment kit, 101 experiments for kids, and I just debunked him with that one. So
I never saw that. I have to go and watch. I did one on him about when he was going on about fluid dynamics, and he was about as far from reality as we are from Neptune. It was just absolute insanity. He's a special kind of stupid, that one. Who else on the panel here would like to engage in our most lovely conversation here?
I have a question for Tommy.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about your moon project? How is that going? I know that you were thinking about doing more with it.
Yeah, that didn't happen exactly as planned, because the app needed to be calibrated, or the phone needed to be calibrated. So I got measurements all over the place. But I'm thinking about doing again in a month or so, and then just as I thought of originally, but just a picture and location, direction, inclination.
Sure.
That's it.
So for the people in the chat who may not be aware of what it was you were doing exactly, do you want to tell them? And I will share a link to your Twitter, and maybe if you need anybody to get involved, you can tell them how they might do that?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
that
don't
sounds
use
great.
Twitter that much, but thanks.
No worries.
It's kind of the Eratosthenes project, but a little different. It's to get the face of the moon with the rotation, so I get a half moon, and then the observations from all over the world pointing towards one spot, just to make sure that the moon is not close and local.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, particularly good on that.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Indeed. So you say you're going to be able to tweeting out some links for him. Have you got anywhere specific, did you say already? Where is it can people go to find out about this? Will that just be appearing on your channel, or is there anything else they can look for?
Yeah, I'm just on my channel. I don't do Twitter or Facebook. I just on my channel.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, look, there you go. There's only one spot, so you've got no excuse not to get over in there and have a look. Now, I'm just going to do a quick once round the table and check whether or not anyone else has got anything they'd like to add, or have they just got a greeting? Because I know not everyone's actually said hello to him yet. Let's see. Dick Dawson, you said hello. You haven't got anything you'd like to add at the moment, have you?
Well, when we were talking about, that guy and the magnet claim, who else have you covered, Tommy, where they were just unbelievably off the mark, and it was literal, and it was one of those moments where you didn't even have to think. You just instantly knew, oh, I can just do this and show them.
I haven't gone particularly after people like that. I just made towards claims. So, except from Gary Oibenga and that guy, what is his name? Q something. Who tried to debunk Simon Dan. Who tried to debunk Simon Dan.
Yeah.
And I made a video about that one. That actually got 14,000 views, and I usually got a few hundred.
Wow.
So,
not bad.
I don't go towards people directly that often. I just do the observations.
Okay, well, that's reasonable. I mean, to be honest, that is just approaching the facts. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who it's coming from. That's why we always call out arguments from authority, right?
Yeah, they're all parrots, so they're all say the same.
Yeah, quite. Now, I think Dead Kennedy has got something he'd like to add, hasn't he? Oh, Jumpman, I'll come to you just after Dead Kennedy. Unless you really want to jump in right now.
No, go on, crack on.
Lovely. Dead Kennedy, how you going, mate?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to Tricky Dicky in the chat. We have a wonderful little flat Earth troll joining.
Oh, you fucker!
And we have we have a question from Tricky Dicky, which I'd like to pose to Tommy because I think he could answer this pretty appropriately. He would like to know which cartoon can prove the globe using natural physics applied on Earth. And go.
Sorry, I'm blank.
Yeah.
That's fucking genius.
I'd like to know what he means by natural physics.
Yeah, as opposed
to just physics.
My brain doesn't work that fast.
Okay, now, Jumpman, you're desperate to jump in. I can hear you, mate. What do you want,
actually, well done, Kevin. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say I have spotted our first dumbass globe-denying fucktard in the chat. So welcome, you little fucktard. And the answer to your question, what cartoon? Cartoon's a fucking cartoon, you moron. And the only cartoons I ever fucking see is that pizza-shaped piece of shit that you show as a planet. Well, you're a flat fucking piece of shit Earth. The Earth's a fucking globe, you globe-denying knobsack. And enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show.
Holy fucking oi, thank you. Yeah, you notice how the only diagrams you ever really see in crayon come out of Danny Pratt's garage. Now, look, Pete Berube, how about you? You got a quick question, apparently, mate. How are you going?
Yeah. Hey, Tommy, what's up, man? If you want some help at the moon, man, I'm your man. Give me a shout, and I'll do whatever you need to prove whatever you want with the moon.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
With those two, unstoppable force. Brilliant stuff. Shawn Hawkins, are you there in the back, mate? How are you doing?
I'm here.
I just wondered if there was anything you wanted to ask Tommy, or you had any comments or anything?
No.
That's cool. That's fair enough. I just thought I'd do a quick run around of the table, make sure I've got everyone's last comments. There's no pressure, mate. I think I've got round everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give one last 3 seconds bit of dead air for someone to pipe up. Oh, Tatty,
Did you
talking, mate?
Aye, I'll pipe up. Don't you fucking worry about that, son. First off, Tommy, man, fucking great to meet you. The one question I do have for you is, what's the stupidest fucking argument you've ever heard for a flat Earth?
Nice.
Besides Earth is flat, I don't know. Again, a lot of what Gary Waibenga says is just up there. But sorry, I cannot pick one point. It's just too stupid.
Nice. I have to say, in terms of crazy claims, at the very moment, I'm very much enjoying Joey Rocha's "Volcanoes Are a Hoax." That's a new one on me. I'm really enjoying that. He laces it into the flat Earth. It's not really related, if we're honest, but it is sort of tangential. And my God, that's a lot of fun.
There's such a history of geology getting us to where we are today. For one absolute like a complete fool that has the education of, a grade 6 school dropout to just wipe it aside and say, no, volcanoes are fake. How can somebody be that way? How could somebody be so fucking confused in the head that they can fall for this shit? Like the Devil's Tower was a tree stump, Oh my God.
Well, he's incredibly arrogant.
Man.
That is true. I mean, it's breathtaking. We deal with a lot of people with a lot of ego, but my God, that guy takes the Dunning-Kruger cake, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's at the top of the curve on that chart.
Okay, right. Look, I think we're sort of coming to a natural close in the conversation. We've all had a sort of a bit of a chat to Tommy, and we're very grateful for him giving us a bit of a sort of insight into the work he's doing and his opinions. I think next what we're going to do is I'm going to pass straight over to Dick Dawson, who's going to roll us up to the next section.
Did you introduce Shawn Hawkins?
I thought I'd introduce Shawn Hawkins. Did I not introduce you at the start there, mate?
I think you did.
Yeah, I mean, as he had a chance to chat, I thought, didn't think.
No, I'm just kind of laying low.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I did,
cool.
mate. Yeah, absolutely. I've got my
bad.
list here. I tick them off one by one these days. I'm trying to get good at that. If I do miss anyone, though, obviously, just have a scream out at me and I'll obviously go straight to you, okay?
Happy birthday, Shawn.
Happy birthday, Shawn.
For sure, man. Right on.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
A week ago.
Thank you.
Lovely. Right, if everyone's done, I think we're going to chuck straight over to Mr. Dick Dawson.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Berube, who is on the panel with us today, has Astronomy Corner. And I think there's nothing else for it. Let's just cue the video and enjoy something that it will be very, very good.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. If you're looking into Flat Earth, you might be demanding proof from someone who claims that we don't live on a spinning globe.
I think we got an issue with video here.
And the response you'll often get is, do your own research.
Man, I do.
That's right. We had a little bit of a last-minute change of order, didn't we? So let's see. Dick Dawson, I'll tell you what, if you want to reintroduce the next one, is it... Well, Robert Leger, you're going to be loading up the next one. I think the first thing we're looking at is Astronomy Corner with Pete Berube, isn't it?
Yes, that's what we're looking for.
Oh, lovely stuff.
And
right.
yeah, Pete Berube has put together a nice little video for us, Astronomy Corner, and we're all going to get to watch something and learn something and have a nice time. Let's do it.
Sweet.
Hey, what's up? My name's Pete, and welcome to the Astronomy Corner. The Orion constellation, one of the most recognizable constellations in the night sky, was named after Orion the Hunter in Greek mythology. Orion is clearly visible in the night sky from November to February. It resides in the southwestern sky if you're in the northern hemisphere, or the northwestern sky if you're in the southern hemisphere. It is best seen between 85 and minus 75 degrees of latitude. There are many points of interest in Orion, such as Betelgeuse, a red supergiant, from left to right, Alnilam, Alnitak, and Mintaka, which form the Orion's belt. Orion's sword looks like it's made up of 3 stars, but in fact, the middle star is no star at all. This is where we find the Orion Nebula. Formerly known as Messier Object 42, or M42, it is one of the brightest nebulae and is visible to the naked eye in the night sky. M42 is 24 light years across and located at a distance of 1,344 light years. That's 7.8 quadrillion miles, or 12 quadrillion kilometers from Earth. The nebula is a formation of dust, hydrogen, helium, and other ionized gases. The Orion Nebula is an example of a stellar nursery where new stars are being born. Observations of the nebula have revealed approximately 700 stars in various stages of formation within the nebula. The bright center of the nebula is composed of 4 bright stars known as the trapezium because they are arranged in what appears to be a trapezoid from our perspective. Recent observations have revealed a powerful X-ray source emanating from the region of the trapezium, indicating the possible presence of a black hole. However, more study is needed. Also, what is known as free-floating objects were found using the Hubble telescope. Philip Lucas of the University of Hertfordshire explained, "The objects are likely to be large gas planets similar in size to Jupiter and consisting primarily of hydrogen and helium. From the measured brightness and the known distance to the Orion Nebula, we knew that they did not have enough material for any nuclear processing in their interiors." Now, these objects are most likely to be failed stars that are just roaming a nebula. As more data is collected, we are sure to find the Orion Nebula even more interesting than it already is.
If
Did we
someone
lose
thinks
Jim?
they're speaking, they're muted.
Yeah, I think we lost Jim there for a minute. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? Yeah, now we do. There we go.
Brilliant. I wasn't muted, believe it or not. For once, it was just the internet being a bit of a bugger for me. So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Technical hitch there. Right, brilliant stuff. So we're at the halfway point now, ladies and gentlemen. First thing I want to do, basically, is I want to go straight to Tommy Gronvold and see whether or not you want to join us in a bit of a debunk.
Yeah. Can you see Orion in the summer? Case closed.
Brilliant stuff. Well then, in that case, I'm going to hand it straight over to Dick Dawson, I think.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tear into a little video here. We have Phuket Word examining pictures of distant objects, and he misunderstands the curve calculator. So, if our one and only great as ever producer Robert can cue up that little gem of a load of crap Phuket calls a video, let's get to it.
Here we go.
You don't pull your punches.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. If you're looking into Flat Earth, you might be demanding proof from someone who claims that we don't live on a spinning globe. And the response you'll often get is, do your own research. And that's because anyone that has done their own research and maybe attempted to debunk
very well.
Flat
Just
Earth
stutters.
has eventually realized that sometimes we can see things that are way beyond the distance we should be able to see them. And they simply do not fit with the mathematics and the calculations that go with...
This is that one that they pull all the time. And, you know, the way it's so funny because people that actually analyze this crap after these morons spew off always actually do the calculation of the size of the objects, not just, you know, glance at a picture and go, oh, look, I can still see it. And there's always missing building or there's missing mountain. And it's comical. The only reason they can make sense out of it is because they don't know how to make sense of it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I was just about to say that the problem is he just doesn't understand, and either he doesn't understand or he's a lying, cheating scumbag. And I think it's the latter. He's a full of shit, this fucking idiot. And the video I couldn't remember putting out was my part 2 on his fucking ramblings of an idiot.
Oh, yeah, he's put out... Sorry, go on.
What he doesn't understand is that he doesn't understand the globe model because he thinks it's flat and he thinks he should be looking at something completely different.
Well, that's exactly right. Tommy, you can probably see exactly where he's trying to go with this. It's a sad attempt at the same old argument once again, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't understand refraction. If you see his a little bit later on, you see he punched his numbers into a calculator without refraction. And on Walter Business calculator, just to push the refraction slider just a little bit, and it pops up. So.
He makes a couple of dramatic errors in that one, which are just, I mean, I know you're going to point them all out. The rest of us are going to struggle because I'm sure you spotted every error in the damn thing. Let's see. Does anyone have anything they want to chip in quickly with now?
No.
Lovely. In which, Jumpman, go ahead, buddy.
No, I said no.
Okay. Well, look, if that's the case, what we'll do is I'm going to ask Robert Legere to continue.
And here's a great example. If you just put into a search engine Mallorca, seen from Barcelona, you'll come up with photographs like this. And especially these first photographs are taken from an observatory called the Fabra Observatory in Barcelona. And you can see Mallorca in the distance. And that's almost 200 miles away. The elevation of the observation here, where the photograph was taken, is about 415 meters. You can just go and have a look at that on Wiki. Here's the Fabra Observatory. Okay, it tells you there that it's 415 meters. All right. And if you go and follow the links to these photographs, you will see that they are taken from that observatory. And you'll see various newspaper reports and websites that, especially this one, Beyond Horizons, which actually gives you all the heights and distances of the peaks that you can see.
Oh, for God's sakes, man, get on with it. I'm going to fall asleep here, you
This
fucking
website's very
zombie.
interesting. It's because it is a website dedicated to...
yeah, let's get a pause.
Did I hear a pause? I'm sure I heard Kevin Kennedy say pause.
For
Was
that,
you,
man.
buddy?
Am I coming in too quietly or something?
Just a little.
A little bit, a tiny little bit, but you're okay. I did just about catch you and I saw your icon. What have you got to add, bud?
Any of those images he's showing, first of all, I wish he would fucking open one of them so I can see it clearly. And then I would like to ask him where the bottom of any of those objects is.
Do you know what?
Exactly how much of them you can't see. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. So you can see the peaks of fucking mountains. You can't see the whole fucking island, can you, you stupid prick? And do you know why you can't see the whole island? Because most of it's hidden behind the curvature of the earth. What the fuck is wrong with you lot? Tricky Dicky,
It's like
you need
music,
to fucking
isn't it?
open your ears and listen, and hopefully you'll leave this show with some fucking sense. Or maybe you won't because you're a dumbass, globe-denying fucktard.
And
Anyone else sitting there, sort of waving their hands like they're conducting an orchestra? Because for me, when Chuck goes, it's like music. I just like to let it wash over me like an orchestra. Do you know what I mean? It's
it's soothing. It's
got
soothing.
the grace of oceans. It's just brilliant.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. You're an artist, mate. Honestly, I don't know anyone who can muster profanity with quite the skill as you. It is genuinely impressive.
Yeah, I said in the chat last time that I never seen so many stars in the script as Judge Monk.
That's it. Those closed captions are just one long line of stars. It's like a game of Mario or Sonic or something, isn't it? Tattiebogle, what do you think at the moment, mate? You got any thoughts you want to add to the pile? I haven't heard from you in a little while.
The only thought I've got about this whole fucking thing is, where the fuck is Africa? If the fucking Earth's flat, then where the fuck is Africa? You surely should be able to fucking see that behind fucking Mallorca. I mean, fucking twat.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah, and Everest.
Yeah.
Well, quite.
Everest.
You should be able to see Everest from basically everywhere.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's Kilimanjaro? For fuck's sake, come on.
I can't even see
You know what? I know this
Ben
comes.
Nevis.
I know this comes up a lot, but the thing is, on a flat Earth, there should be no clear horizon, right? It's as simple as that. It should just fade away into the fuzz in the horizon, lost amongst the atmosphere. There would never be a time when the horizon isn't obscured by atmosphere eventually, no matter how clear a day it is, right? A horizon is something that only happens on a fucking sphere. Or have I got my geometry wrong? Tommy, you know this better than anyone.
You're missing one big point. Perspective.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I never actually measured my angle of attack, did I?
Yeah, see, I call it dumbass fucktard perspective.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue somewhat, doesn't it? Let's see, Shawn Hawkins, you got anything you want to add at this point, mate? Because you've dealt a little bit with Phuket Word in the past. What's your overall view so far?
I've never really dealt with Phuket.
Have you not? I thought you'd had a couple of goes at the guy. Well, in that case, what's your first impression of him, apart from the fact he talks at a glacial pace?
He's a moron, but...
He certainly is.
The one thing about the horizon is not only would it would never be a distinct horizon, nothing would ever go behind it.
Yeah, ever. Things really would just shrink until they disappeared, until they went beyond your
Especially the
angle of revolution
fucking
or whatever the
sun.
term is.
Especially the fucking sun.
Yeah. A thing that should never disappear behind anything, ever, if it's high in the sky and never goes down. It's no fucking sense. Right. Now, I want to turn to Kiri Mack at the moment, because she's been quietly monitoring the chat, and we haven't heard a little bit from her. I wondered if there's any comments or questions you wanted to raise just now.
Sure. Well, I'm watching the chat go by. There's a lot of chat going on between our resident Flurf, Tricky Dicky, and everybody else.
That's fun.
Right, so Mr. Victory says he doesn't think his brain could handle Saturday morning cartoons. Why would it handle physics? Pretty good point, you know. We've got a shout out from Rider of Dinosaurs. He wants to say a big thank you to Dick Dawson and Robert Leger for all the help they've been giving him to prepare his first live stream. So I thought I'd just chuck that in there because it's always nice to hear, right?
Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Happy to help.
And another from Christ Puncher. In regards to the video we were just watching, that was beautiful. I need a cigarette now. There you go.
Yes, that was a very good Astronomy Corner vid.
It certainly was. It was beautiful, man. Wonderful presentation. I'm so glad we could get one, because obviously we had some struggles last time and it was all a bit of a panic, whereas this time a little bit more relaxed. It's just awesome quality. I expect we're going to be seeing you in the future with a bit more of that, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent
Working on
stuff.
the next
All right.
one right now.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to that immensely then. Kiri, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Nothing too much at the moment. Just, like I say, a lot of chat with the Flat Earther and everybody else. I mean, if any of the mods are listening, don't time him out unless he starts to get really quite horrible. Let him show everybody as much of an idiot as he really is. He's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, there's terms of service limits. If he crosses a boundary, get him out of here, because we want to retain our channel regardless of how he wants to behave. But ultimately, this is free speech and free thought here, so...
Exactly. Thanks,
excellent.
guys.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Kiri, as well. Okay, that's great. Well, unless anyone wants to chip in at the last minute, I'm going to ask Robert Leger to continue. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Lovely. Robert Leger, if you'd like to continue.
Shots, photographs. So there are actually quite a few other proofs of flat Earth on that particular website. But again, this is something that you can go and look for yourself. And so, but let's just have a look. What I've done here is I've taken the heights and the distance to those distances to those different peaks that we can see in these photographs.
Any equations
and we can see that they range between, we've got 138 meters high, 1,104. All right, so this particular one, 838 meters high, I think.
How was that, boys?
Lovely. Dead Kennedy in space.
So he's got lots of very nice numbers on the screen, but does he have any equations? Is he doing any actual math aside from measuring things at this point? Like, get to the point, man.
Oh, right. How many minutes are we into this video? And so far, he spent about a third of it just saying that we've been lied to and telling us that bunch of things are not true, which very specifically are true and demonstrable. I mean, we've had very little value. He's basically shown us a Google page of some images and told us some heights, right? Although I think, for once, he actually does get out the old curve calculator at one point and do some dodgy maths there. So there is something here.
Well, I wish you'd get to that, because the whole here's how tall things are is not doing it for me.
Well, this is it, Tommy. You actually made a comment in our little secret side chat at the back here, which I thought you'd want to read out because I thought it was genius. Which is like, you could play this video at, was it 1.25 or 1.5 speed, and you would basically not even notice. He's so slow. Putting it up that much would sound like a normal voice, like.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Isn't even close. Oh man, you know, I mean, of all of us, Dead Kennedy in Space seems to be a bit of an impressionist. You seem to be able to do a few of them, and you do a very scarily convincing Phuket word. I'm wondering if you'd like to grace us with it now.
Hello, Globe Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers.
It sends a shiver down your spine, doesn't it?
I need more whiskey for that, man.
It got cold in there.
Lovely stuff. All right, well, look, I'm going to, unless anyone else wants to jump in quickly, I think we'll continue again. Lovely, let's go.
Shortest of all of the peaks that you can see in the photograph there, and it's 184 kilometers away. So we already know the height of the observer. It's between 412 and 415 meters. So let's go ahead and plug those numbers into a calculator and see if it should be possible to make this observation at that height and distance. What I'm going to use here is this rather nice calculator. It's an Omni calculator, Earth curvature calculator. All right, so what we'll do, we'll take the shortest
Now I want you to wait for it.
Puig Tunnelis. I'm not sure if I've said that right. So the distance to the object here is 184 kilometers. So we'll just plug that in.
You can't even read fucking numbers. Right. Oh, Jesus.
And the eyesight level, so that's the height of the observer. We saw that was 415 meters. We'll be as generous as possible there. And we can see here that it gives us the distance to the horizon as only being 72.72 kilometers, whereas the distance to that peak is more than twice that distance, double the distance that we should be able to see, 184 kilometers
but
away.
The horizon to the base.
It says here as well what should be obscured, the height from the ground to the lowest point of the object that is visible to the observer, or the obscured object part. Now, it says here that 971 meters should be obscured. Well, that's even more than the height of the mountain itself, which is only 8.
Yeah.
There we go. I think we finally got to the point now. Look, Jutmonk, I heard you jumping in. I heard Pete Berube jumping in. I'm pretty sure Tommy Gronvold's going to want to have a go. So I'm going to go in order of who I heard voices from. Jutmonk, you're up, buddy.
Well, firstly, as he mentioned, atmospheric refraction.
I did not hear that word.
I don't think he fucking has he, the fucking dork?
Pete Berube, what about you, buddy?
Doesn't matter how much is hidden compared to how tall it is or how far away it is. Does not matter.
Yeah,
exactly. Now,
watching him do that.
Oh, sorry, Dick.
Sorry. Watching him do that was like watching a toddler try to drive a car. Just no concept of what to do. Absolutely just screwing it up.
Also, he said the distance to the horizon, not the fucking peak.
Yeah.
Different.
Correct.
Different.
The bottom of the fucking mountain.
Yep. The fucking horizon. Of course, the horizon is going to be closer. You know, that's the horizon. But we can see stuff that are fucking shown behind the horizon because they happen to be poking above it. You fucking idiot. Are you listening, tricky dickwad?
Yeah, he is a real piece of work. It makes you wonder if there isn't some forced stupidity in the man, because, how could you get this shit so wrong? There's all kinds of little sites and videos out there explaining how to come to the actual, numbers to do this properly. He doesn't have to be such a fucking idiot about it. It's amazing.
I think it actually takes more fucking effort to get it so fucking wrong than it does to get it right.
I think you're right, Taddy, because it's crazy, it's nuts. Let's see, Shawn, you like to tear into somebody who's really getting it wrong. What do you think of this one?
Well, I'm not the one to talk to about curvature. I suck at math. I'm more with the physical, observable stuff. Yeah, I'm out of my depth with math.
Yeah, I do have to know my limitations in certain areas as well, and math does become one of them. Jim, are you there? Hello. I wonder if we have lost him for a second. He seemed to have connection issues earlier as well. And
he's back.
All right. We'll wait for him. We'll give him a second. He's probably unmuting now because he came into a big group.
I certainly am. Can you hear me, gents?
Yeah, there you are.
Welcome back, sir.
Wow, lovely. Look, as you can tell, I've been having a few interesting internet connections at my end. It just drops out for a moment and then pops back in. I robot for a sec, so apologies for that. You can't blame me. You'll have to blame British Telecom. So, can someone catch me up on roughly where we were?
Well, Dead Kennedy wants to jump in here, so Dead Kennedy can give a wrap up and then a follow through, because he's got something here.
Lovely.
Sure. First thing is there's a comment from Tricky Dicky that I want to address. He was addressing Casual Spaceman, and he said, "Don't care about models. Models are for children and cartoons."
Oh, Mr. Literal.
When do cartoons have models in them?
Sorry?
When does a cartoon have a model in it? Cartoons don't have models. They're cartoons. They're drawn. That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
They're two different mediums, first of all. But no, Tricky Dicky. The definition of a model is an explanation of reality, which is something that Flat Earth does not have.
Well, this is this silly word game he's playing because, a model is also like someone who walks down a catwalk wearing clothes. I mean, the whole point is the word model, because this is English, I'm afraid it's a bit of a vague, ambiguous language. So sometimes one word can mean four things, right? In England, where I'm from, when you say cheers, right? Cheers means hello. It also means goodbye. It also means thank you. And it's what you say to someone when you want to clink glasses together, right? It's one word that has a bunch of meanings. And I'm afraid model is the same. A model could mean a toy. A model could mean a described system where we have all of the elements. A model could even mean someone walking down a catwalk with clothes. The point is here, it's about how you're using the word. And getting all
The
funny
context.
and equivocating is a waste of time. Exactly, Jumpmonk. The fucking context.
I just wanted to...
There's a comment in the chat by Curve Pimp said, or was it? Tricky Dicky. What Tricky Dicky knows about models is sniffing the scent. There's the cement, the glue. I fucked that up. I'm sorry, Curve Pimp.
Do you know what? Right, I've sort of been watching this Tricky Dicky. He is either a fucking Del from the imaginary I don't fucking have a brain super fan, or he is Del, because some of the language he's using is very Del-esque. So
I think you're absolutely right. I hear a lot of that myself in him, although I'm not sure, quite whether or not that's a good thing. Now, look, I think Tommy Gronvold wanted to jump in with something to say here. Am I right?
Yeah, just a final bit on it on the Pucker there.
Lovely.
He is not using refraction in his calculator, as Walter Bislin's calculator have. And the slider for refraction goes from 0 to 1. And just by pulling it up to 0.1, I can see the mountains. So that's just weak refraction.
Quite. I mean, this is one of the things he did mention at the beginning, refraction, and yet he sort of swept it to one side as if you didn't need it or it was something that you could ignore, even though it's something easily measurable. I mean, it's sort of the basis. We all did the experiment at school. You put a pencil in a glass of water and it appears to be crooked, sort of thing, right?
There
We
you
know
go,
about
right?
refraction and how it works since we're fucking children. So pretending it's not there, absolutely bloody ridiculous. What I'd like to do now, did we get to the end of that video? I think it's pretty much nearly there, but shall we continue and see if there's a last few seconds?
Oh no,
Let's keep it going. Finish it up.
Yeah.
Lovely.
8 meters. So basically, we shouldn't be able to see that peak at all. The smallest or shortest peak that is visible in these photographs should be at least 100 meters below the horizon with a photograph taken from this height. So really, that's all you need to do. It's not too difficult to do your own research and find this kind of result. The most difficult part is accepting it. Now, these photographs are taken on days when conditions are very good. Conditions have to be very clear. You need to be able to see quite far. And interestingly enough, I read on that website Beyond Horizons that most people who live in Barcelona...
Was that a pause I heard from Dave Kennedy? Lovely. Dave Kennedy, what did you want, mate?
I can't even like pay attention to his voice. It just I start to wander off if he speaks for too long, and I'm just sitting here looking at these photos, and I'm noticing that they all seem to be taken in the same conditions. It's always evening. It always looks like there's some kind of haze in the air, and
strange.
And I'm kind of wondering if he could just provide some proof that these mountains are visible all the time.
Well, if you're going to cherry pick, you wait for the best cherries.
Yeah. It should be possible on the right sort of day to be able to point a camera at the top of those mountains and just wait for the weather to blow in and out and watch it appearing and disappearing behind the haze to prove that that's what's causing it, rather than say it having to be a very specific set of like laminar air conditions based on temperature, which I'm pretty sure someone's done the calculations for.
I'm just interested. I noticed in the pictures there are some kind of like boats floating in the water there. I wonder what would happen if they went over the horizon.
Oh, that's a huge amount of dead air. Was that me? Did I just drop out?
I don't know.
I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Yeah, I'm back now. Am I? You hearing me?
I think I can hear you now. Sorry, I think we're having minor technical stuff. Right, listen now. Kerry Mack, I'm being told that we haven't got many questions or comments in the audience, but there is a bit of a fight going on with our flirty friend. I just wondered if there was anything amusing you wanted to point out, or maybe something he said we could have a go at.
Right. He's basically, well, he said quite a lot, but if the guys in the chat really appreciate that you're trying to help us out, but unless he says something really insulting, don't time him out or anything. He hasn't quite crossed any boundaries yet. He's just basically showing everybody what a silly little flirt he is. But I can't actually see any of his latest comments because they've all been deleted. So unfortunately,
I see.
I can recall some from memory if anybody wants.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
So I've noticed he's doing the classic flirf tactic of diversion a lot, which is evident when I corrected him about a model, and after everybody had chimed in and we went back, he said, "Oh, all you guys have is jokes," and I said, "I didn't tell any jokes. I asked for, or I told you you're wrong about what a model is," and he stopped responding to me at that point and just talked to everybody else. He reached an end. He reached an end point in that conversation where he had no knowledge to continue, and he just moved on from it.
Well, I'd like to address...
Oh, please do.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'd like to address Tricky Dicky. Why the fuck are you banging on about cartoons anyway? Is that all you can fucking understand is cartoons? You can't prove a globe with cartoons, you stupid little fucktard. All you need to do is go outside, use your fucking eyes, make a few observations, and as long as you've got some kind of fucking brain cell that happens to be ticking over somehow in your fucking skull, you can work this shit out for yourself. For example, a boat would not go over the curve of a flat fucking plane. You gormless, globe-denying, deluded little fantasist fucktard. I hope
That's
you enjoyed
amazing.
the show.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Go watch
man. Do you know what? You were almost roboting out the whole way there. It was like you were fighting to get through. Oh, sorry, mate. I think we're having a bit of crosstalk. That's the problem. Is you are just barely making it through. We got all of that, thank God. That was art, mate. Did you? Sorry, it looks like you had something to add.
No, that was it. I mean, yeah, just fucking go and watch a boat go over the curve, or look at the sun, mate. It's cut in half by the fucking ground you're standing on. If it's meant to be above your head the whole fucking time, how is that possible, you fucking idiot?
Nice. Indeed. Thank you
Come
so
on.
much.
We live on a globe. Wake up! I'm done, man. Yeah,
Can we come out? Is it safe?
All right. I think we got Dead Kennedy in space.
I happen to know that Dead Kennedy in space wants to jump in here quickly, so I'm going to let him do that. Sorry, Dead Kennedy, mate.
We've got the comment that got Tricky Dicky timed out, and this is kind of to drive home what Kerry was saying. He really wasn't saying anything inappropriate. This is the comment that got him timed out, remember? He was responding to someone and he said, "I am looking for evidence of a globe, dumbass. Burden of proof is on the claim." That's a valid question, Tricky Dicky. Your cognitive dissonance has been duly noted. The following are objective facts. The rotation of our pole stars clearly indicate a spherical object. The declination of Polaris as one moves toward the equator indicates a spherical object. Seismic detection produces patterns of waves that move through the Earth and clearly indicate a spherical object with a very dense core. The sun does not have an angular change in size throughout the day. The existence, location, speed, shape, and distance of the International Space Station are mathematically verifiable without needing to use a space agency as an argument from authority. This is only a small fraction of the facts. What say you, cult puppet?
It's beautiful. How artfully
Right, man.
And actually, I'd like to reiterate the point there. Actually, look, if people should not be getting timed out in the chat at all, unless they're basically saying things that are racist, sexist, Holocaust-denying madness, right? Something that is clearly a terms of service. Don't be timing them out. It is a free speech, free thought platform.
Yes.
People are allowed to say what they think, even if it's stupid. So I appreciate the mods for doing the work they do, but don't be too overzealous.
I tell you what, though, guys.
Right, lovely stuff. That's my lecture. Sorry, Jumpman, go ahead.
I was just about to say, everybody, please go across and check out Tricky Dicky's channel. It's fucking awesome. He's got no subs and no content.
So I'd like to add something
Absolutely. It's amazing. Now, look, I'm Shawn Hawkins. Apparently, you had something you wanted to add, buddy.
Yeah, and what Kennedy said, Tricky Dicky, is a courtesy, because the burden of proof is on you to prove your claim against the established norm of science. That's
correct.
Aren't rules that we make up. They're written down. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a beautiful point. Excellently made. Sorry.
They do it every
Sorry,
time.
Ty,
They're
what
the
was that,
ones
buddy?
making the I'm just saying the flares do it every fucking time, man. They make the fucking claim that the Earth's flat and then turn around and ask us to prove that it's no. They're the cunts. They're the arseholes making the claim. So come on, get with the fucking program here.
Listen, I noticed that diplomatic correction of that swear word there, but trust me, Ty, you have a pass on that one. Don't you panic, all right, mate?
Thank you very much for that.
You're quite all right. We invited you in here full well knowing the war that we may start. So, right, I'm just trying to work out. Has anyone got anything else they want to jump in with quickly? Because I think we've got seconds remaining on this video, haven't we? Or did it actually run out in the end?
Just a few seconds left.
I think we're near the end. Robert, how about you hit play and we'll see what's left?
Do not believe that Mallorca can be seen from Barcelona. So this is very similar to the response you'll often get. Most people believe that we live on a globe and there are certain things that we shouldn't be able to see because they would be beyond the horizon because of curvature of the Earth. But given the right conditions, and this doesn't mean miraging, you need to have clear conditions in order to see this. So
unlike these photos,
no refraction, no diffraction. And this is when you can see far enough to be able to see those peaks. All right, so it's just one example of the many that are out there of observations.
Did Robert not hear? Pause.
No pause.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, I forgot because somebody did call it. Okay, yeah, we'll let it go.
Indeed, we'll run it through.
Okay. With the mathematics for the curvature. All right, so I hope you enjoy going and doing your own research in that respect and encouraging others to do so. Thank you very much. Click subscribe and the bell icon.
Wow, quite apart from that really nasty tacked on bit at the end, which was really poorly edited, I am so glad that we have got to the end there. Jesus, we've managed to throw away 7 or 8 minutes of video time there, and as far as I can tell, he basically had 1 or 2 bogus claims that he managed to grind his ass through the whole way. So what I'm going to do now is go all the way around the table and just ask people quickly what they thought of what they've seen. Let's start with Dick Dawson. You've seen a lot tonight, man. Any thoughts?
Well, after watching Phuket Word, I have this feeling as if somebody took a sharp spoon, stuck it in my ear, carved out enough gray matter to roll a joint, and then made me smoke it. It's painful, and I'm numb. I can't think straight anymore. He's so wrong in everything he does and how he approaches it, and what the simple errors in the usage of the calculator, they're monumental when you actually get your numbers. It's painful to watch this guy. I really think that he's almost toxic because he comes across as somebody who might actually know what they're talking about to the truly stupid, and I could see people believe in him if they aren't intelligent in any way.
They'd have to be fucking stupid.
Oh, you're telling me about it. All right, well, Jutmong, let's go to you next, mate. What do you think about everything we've seen so far? I mean, it's been a hell of a show. Fucking hell, that video was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it is just ridiculous, isn't it? He doesn't understand what he's doing. He's plugging in numbers and just fucking getting it all wrong. Like, for instance, saying like, well, this is the distance to the horizon, so we shouldn't see anything sort of beyond the horizon, but not if it's fucking tall, then we can see it poke above the horizon, you fucking idiot. Other than that, he is a misleading fucking twat.
You don't say. I mean, there's a couple of things that he's thrown out over the years which are very much they're not just bad science, but they're clearly dodgy. He did this test with 3 lighters to prove perspective, and then he moved one of them in a subtle way. I mean, he's an actual cheat. It's pretty obvious.
Yes,
the guy's a fucking con man, right?
Yeah, well, that was in response to that photograph, wasn't it? The St. Helen's photograph.
He's roboting out for me.
And I mean, he just manipulated the fucking result. He just.
Oh yeah.
Am I still fucking robot?
Well,
you're roboting out.
Fits and starts.
Hello.
Yeah, we heard about half of the I'm afraid. You're gonna. Not really.
But he's
just come back to me. It's cool. Fuck.
Yeah, he structures what he does to get the. We are. He structures his. Phuket Word structures what he does to get the result he wants. Right. He's a disingenuous.
He seems to reverse engineer it. Doesn't it? I think he literally sets out to try and prove it. He works the end result. He works what he wants people to see, and then artfully arranges things until he can get that every single time.
Absolutely.
Indeed, well said. Right, Tattiebogle, what do you think about what we've seen, mate?
To be quite honest, mate, my brain is fucking numb after that. That was just absolute, pure, unadulterated bullshit. I think the best bit about that video was the fact that we closed it on the word bell, which just goes to prove that Phuket World is just nothing but a bell end.
Yeah. Well said. Okay, now look, I think Shawn Hawkins may have had a comment. Is that right?
Yeah, it's past. It's not important.
Oh, okay. Well, look, we'll come back to it in a moment then. Let's see. Now, I'm just trying to remember whether or not I asked Dead Kennedy in space or not. Did we already speak to you, mate?
No.
No. So, what do you think so far, then, man?
Phuket word reminds me of an ent because they speak slowly, so they can make it to that 10-minute mark and get a second ad break.
Is that what they're after? That's smart. I hadn't thought of that. No, that sounds convincing to me. Nice.
Tricks of the trade, man. Tricks of the trade.
Absolutely.
Funny,
now, Pete Berube, you've been quiet for a little while now. I want to get your input on the situation. What do you think so far?
That video was pretty terrible. The only thing he got right was probably the distances to the objects and the height of the observatory. Everything else was pretty much crap.
Yeah, I think you put it simply and to the point. You're absolutely correct. Now, let's see. We've got... Oh, crikey. You see, here's the problem is I've got this whole list of people, and I get halfway through it, and I think, did I miss anyone? Now, as far as I can tell, everyone's had a view who might want to. But, Kiri Mack, have we got any comments or questions in the audience at the moment
We
you might
have
want
a
to bring
couple, mostly about Gigantor. Demon Orb even says, Gigantor should see for miles, he's so tall and boring. 9 o'clock Hero says, Phuket is the transition between inanimate and animate, which is pretty funny.
I like that. That's funny.
Of course he's speaking slow. It takes a long time for the sound to reach us from his height. And that's from Swavelwinter, I think. And then, yeah, that's about it for now.
Lovely. Now, I'm pretty sure I've got to the bottom of the list and I've asked everyone now. So if anyone's got any final comments about the... well, firstly, you could have some questions or you might have something else to talk about, Tommy. Wow, that was beautiful.
What the hell was that?
I was going to say the reason why fuckwit word has to keep pausing is because his brain is so fucking dumb. It's really, really difficult for him to just make shit up as he goes along.
Lovely. Right, now look, the question that we've got at the moment is we've got a bit of a format here that says we were going to talk to Tommy and we've had a nice chat with him, and then we were going to look at this first Phuket word video, and then after that the chances are we could either extend the show if that's what you people watching wanted, or we could sort of wrap it up. So I'm going to put it to the audience now. Do you want us to keep going and have a look at another sort of little video, or do you want us to wrap up and go home? Because it's basically up to you at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, for
now, Kiri Mack, I'm going to have to ask you to keep an eye on the chat, because otherwise we're going to sit in here for 30 seconds.
Everyone just put a thumbs up emoji if they want us to carry on.
Yep, people
Simple
are saying more. Ryder says more. Johannum says keep going. Monochromatic light source, yes please. Cruising with Jay, keep going. I think it's unanimous.
All right.
Okay, well, as long as everyone on the team's sort of happy. Oh, sorry.
Just worth mentioning, BM Furball is here, so it may be worth watching this video in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Very
indeed.
good,
Well,
very
if that's
good.
the case, then we should, that's Phuket word debunking, quote unquote, some BM Furball experiment. Is that right?
No, it's Oakley debunking something BM Furball said.
It's Oakley.
Yeah, it was Oakley. Sorry, I was confusing the individual. Well, look, in that case,
value of R.
Oh, I missed that, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Can I be heard? Am I roboting again?
You're back now. Good.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, in that...
We missed what Robert said, I think.
Ah, I've got you. Robert, what was that, buddy?
I just said the next video is Oakley commenting on BM Furball not saying that he didn't need R in his equation for what he was showing.
Ah, yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Now, look, shall I hand over to you, Dick Dawson, to introduce this one, or do you think that was pretty much a good enough one from Robert, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't really do anything better than that, now can I? I do believe it's time to let it happen.
Power of art compels you to believe such silly things.
Every single example claimed to demonstrate that the Earth is a globe will start with the presupposition that the Earth is a globe. In this case, the R value.
Nathan Oakley seems to think that your entire presentation was using fallacies. Would you agree with that?
I would disagree, and I'd also like to point out that he spent half of the video calling me a moron repeatedly.
Okay, so question, where did you get the R value, radius value, that is the very presupposition your argument is based on?
I did not, because nothing in my video was about determining R or using math that relied upon R. Calculating on a globe. The basis for my calculations weren't global.
Does BM think the globe model reification he presented is not based on R? If so, he is, as already demonstrated, a you-know-what.
So if I'm going to talk about a globe, yes, it's going to have a radius. So if I'm going to talk about a globe, yes, it's going to have a radius. So if I'm going to talk about a globe, yes, it's going to have a radius. So if I'm going to talk about a globe, yes, it's going to have a radius. So if I'm going to talk about a globe, yes, it's going to have a radius. Yes, it's going to have a radius.
Pause.
Please.
Yeah, of course, when it talks about the globe, it has to have a radius. That's pure and simple. That's no presupposition, nothing. That's just how it works.
Yeah, they're repeating it as if it's a got you moment, and how else could it possibly be? What the hell?
Yeah, show me a circle without a radius. Crikey. I'm not sure how it would work without. I mean, the problem seems to be they're trying this whole maths isn't reality thing, but frankly, when it comes to like 2 pi r, you know what I mean? There are certain things that are so fucking immutable that just screaming that they're not reality isn't going to do you a damn bit of good when all the engineering works.
Yeah, right. It's been done so many times in life to get us to where we are now. To just wipe it away as irrelevant or not even there is laughable. It's comical.
Oh man, it's painful, right? Now look, have we got anyone who wants to jump in quickly right now, or should we hit play again?
I would say just very quickly, I've got one question.
Yeah.
Does Dildocley, is he always going on about fallacies or fallacies? That's what I want to know, man, because it sounds to me as if he's talking about fallacies, not fallacies.
I just got that as well. Oh, brilliant. I was going to have a sensible response until I realised you were talking about dicks. It wouldn't be a Shield show without a few dick jokes, though, right? We've got it on our own, so that's part of the deal. All right,
Nothing
brilliant
like a
stuff.
dick
Right.
joke that lands hard.
Absolutely. Marvellous. Right, any last comments?
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So you heard Furball mention that Oakley spent most of the time calling him a fucking idiot. Did you notice what he zoomed in on the screen as he repeated the thing about the radius? A person holding a sign saying "You fucking moron." Like, Oakley is such a vile human being, and that's one of my biggest problems with him is that people who watch him get off when he calls someone a fucking retard and mutes them for 5 minutes while he screams at them, and it furthers this horrible antagonistic attitude of Flat Earth, and he pisses me off for that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's very easy to get sort of... I mean, they're intentionally being antagonising, and you know that they're doing that, and so what you do is you sort of try and rise above it. But it does get on your tits, doesn't it? These super silliest, jumped-up, pompous bastards with their ridiculous fucking claims calling me goddamn names. I ought to slap the silly out of them. It's unbelievable. Sorry, before I do blow my top and go a little bit jump monk. Now, has anyone else got anything that they want to add? Jump monk, are you still in the room, mate? Are we still struggling a bit, or... Oh, I'm hearing a long drawn out silence. That's a shame. Well, look, hopefully we'll get him back in a little bit later.
I was just muted, mate, and I was looking at the chat, and obviously I have to jump from chat back to mute. So
I'll give you a lead in next time. Sorry, buddy.
I can't stand Oakley. I really don't. I won't go in his bollocks little shit show. I'd love to debate him. I'd like to debate him in a pub, and then when I've had enough, smack him in the mouth. I said what I had to say, man.
Lovely point, well made. All right, look,
that's a good one.
A fucking arsehole.
He's not that fucking useful.
We may have lost Chipmunks to the internet, but I'm pretty sure I know what the second half of that word was going to be.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest Robert Legere III. Would you mind continuing the video?
The globe model reification used in your demonstration utilises the R value, you moron.
Total moron.
I think that might be it.
Was that it?
It is.
Yeah, this is real.
I'm seeing the Shills feed come back in.
I hope so.
That was the end of the video. Blimey, that was brief, wasn't it?
That was kind of pointless.
Fuck me gently, was that?
Well, let's...
Short but not sweet.
Yeah, go ahead, mate. I suppose
Yeah,
it was.
short
Well,
but
Tommy
not sweet.
Gronvold, you're our guest for the day. What do you
Yeah.
think of that little one? Short, but not sweet. Quite.
Yeah.
What did you think about the claim in it? Did you think it had any validity at all? We've all seen BM Furbal's test at this point. What do you think of that Cavendish experiment he's doing?
First of all, he's a man of patience. I really enjoy his videos. And just to simply deny everything is just too easy. So, that's they deny everything they can't explain. So, easy as that.
Indeed. Well, look, I think the thing is we've watched a couple of videos today, right? We've had a nice little chat to Tommy. That's been really interesting. We're getting to a point now where I think we're going to start closing up the show. And what that usually means is I do a quick once around the table to ask people, obviously, a last thought on the show they've had so far, and give them another chance to sort of shell out if they've anything going in the next week. So let's go to the top of the table. Dick Dawson, man with the plan. What about you? Any thoughts before we say goodbye?
Well, let's say when it comes to Phuket Word, make sure you've had a decent amount of alcohol before watching, because the comedy value can be high, but God forbid anything actually stayed in your brain and got into your subconscious. You know, that could steer your car in all the wrong directions. So take care when watching Phuket Word. As for having Tommy on the show, that was fantastic. I really like your style and your outlook on things, and the way you look at it is a nice twist. It's good. I very much enjoyed that. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I second that sentiment. Thank you very much for coming on. Right, let's go to the next person on the list. Ted Kennedy in space. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to chill out for before we say goodbye?
Just to screw with everyone's head again. Hello, Globe Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers.
Oh my
Painfully
sick
good.
puppy, sir.
No.
Sick fucking puppy.
You sit at home practicing that, don't you? Oh. Scary. Well,
I
look-
sort of did have to practice it because I did put it in a video once, so I had to kind of perfect it.
I wish I had a video of that. I'd have loved to be a fly on that wall.
You're marked for life now.
Just a kind of a wrap-up thing that I want to say. I feel fucking amazing today, and today has been a fantastic stream, and Tricky Dicky joining us has been a really, really nice treat, because every time I engage with a flat earther, I become more and more convinced that the Earth is a globe. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing here. So I want to say that, and also the reason I feel amazing today is all thanks to this community, specifically World Model Feud and everyone who joined me on the panel last night. Expect a lot more from my channel because some awesome stuff is coming.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Dead Kennedy in Space. Now, look, we've also got Shawn Hawkins here on the panel. I know you haven't had much of a chance to sort of shout in today. It can get a bit boisterous in here. So I'd like to come to you one final time to see, firstly, what do you think of the show? And secondly, have you got any stuff that you want to shell out for as the future comes on? Doesn't have to be you, could be another creator, could be something you're doing, something you've done, anything on the cards.
No, nothing much. I just came on to kind of chill and take it in. So
cool. Well, it was nice to have you here. And look, you've been putting out a lot of videos. Most days you put out, anywhere from like 3 to 10 as you find some new claim and you cut it down. If the people watching haven't seen that stuff, I would say get over to his channel and subscribe now and get your eye on those, because just every day there's this constant stream of stuff he's putting out where he's just cutting down morons like Thrive and Survive and what have you. Really, definitely get over there. Now, next on the list we have got Pete Berube. How are you doing, mate? Thanks for the astronomy corner. And is there anything you wanted to add before we say goodbye?
It's looking pretty dismal here where I live, so I don't think I'm going to get any moon shots tonight. But if you're able to see the moon, tomorrow is the third quarter moon. So that's real nice because it's right down the middle and you can, it's good to look at. You can see other things because it's not so bright. Just in case you don't get my Twitter feed because it's cloudy here. New astronomy corners are coming. I don't know which subjects I'm going to tackle yet, but they're coming.
Well, that's all stuff to look forward to. Absolutely. I look forward to that immensely. Next, Monk the Drunk Monkey. Let's see if we can get you through the line just long enough to say goodbye. Any final thoughts, mate?
Uh-oh.
Well, it's going to take him a moment to get in because he might have to switch tabs and then unmute. Are you there, Jack Monk? Can you hear us?
Maybe he's
he's either passed out, drunk, or the technology.
Could well be.
I think it's swearing overpowered the microphone.
No, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now we do.
Yeah, can you hear me? Well,
I can now. We got a big lag, but you just go off.
I wanted to say the same, really. Thanks, Tricky Dicky, for joining us. We hope you can come back again. You said something along the lines of you keep trying to prove the globe and you will become more woke. Thing is, Tricky Dicky, this is a joke for us because your flat Earth nonsense is a fucking joke.
It is a joke indeed, Monk.
Well made. Now, just before you cut out completely, I'm going to have to move on to the next person. Now, I think Dead Kennedy in Space, you've got a little comment you want to read out again, so we'll just turn back to you briefly. How are you, mate?
Oh yeah, I just chuckled at Tricky Dicky. He gave a response to my address to him. He said, "Good point. The more cartoons that fight Flat Earth, the more I know the heliocentric religion is a fantasy." I love it because it's more proof of my point. All they have is rhetoric and bullshit. Give me something practical, man. Show me that the Earth is flat. Yeah. I'm waiting.
Give me a goddamn test. Excellent. Now, Tattiebogle, you've been on the show today. Obviously, this isn't the first time you've done a live stream, but I think it's the first time you've been with us on the Shills, isn't it? How did you enjoy the show? And is there anything you wanted to chill out for before we go?
Indeed, man. No, first time we've been on the Shills. Thank you very much for having me on. It's been a fucking blast. The only thing I've enjoyed every minute, man. The only thing I'd like to chill out is the folks in the chat. Check the links in the description. Get yourself subscribed to all the Shills, and I'm just about to stick one in the chat as a link for Monks and End of Conspiracy's new channel. Get yourself signed up to that, man. I can't wait for the content to come out on that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. That's a great little plug, actually. I can second that one. Definitely follow that advice and get over there now. Right, let's see. We've got a couple left on the card. So, Kiri Mack, are there any final comments either from the audience or from you before we say goodbye?
Sure. Well, I've got a question for Jut Monk from End the Conspiracy, who wants to know, does Jut want him to weigh and measure Alex Dumbass Morales?
Absolutely. Fucking why not?
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, also want to point out that I've put a link in the chat. BM Furball did a response video to the one that we just saw, so you should definitely go and check that out. Also, loving Pete Berube's Astronomy Corner. I'm going to put a link in the chat right this second for his Twitter account. If you guys follow him on there, you'll get to see any of the sort of latest images that he's working on. He's got some great moon photography. It's just definitely worth checking out. And also thank you to Tommy and Shawn and Tatty and everybody who joined us today.
That's brilliant, absolutely. Now, I think I've spoken to everyone on the list, so if I've forgotten anyone, you'd better shout at me now because I'm about to say my final words. Thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Again, I want to thank everyone who came today, who basically, we had a few people come at short notice onto the panel, so thanks to Shawn Hawkins and thanks to Tatty and all of you, basically. And also thanks to Tommy Gronvold, basically. You came in, you gave us some brilliant facts, you cut apart these stupid ideas. I hope you enjoyed yourself on the show today. Are there any final comments or thoughts you wanted to make, or is there any last sort of shilling that you'd like to do before we go?
Yeah, as I said earlier, my first heroes of inspirations were Slice of Hurricane and Soundly, but Shawn Hawkins, he was also one of my first inspires, because when he made that $1 or $2 model with the sticks and styrofoam to show Polaris, just so easy. And so yeah, I'm going to shield for the shield himself, Shawn Hawkins.
He's
YouTube's most underrated channel, so go and subscribe.
Absolutely. Second, I think everyone on the team agrees with that. Look, basically, this is what we're here for, right? We are the Shills. We shill people out. Now, look, I'll leave you with one final reminder to check out all of our creators' channels if you haven't already. It's really easy to just fade out when you hear me say this, but the point of this show is to showcase not only the very best stupid stuff that's on YouTube, but also the best intelligent stuff. We've got these brilliant critical thinkers, debunkers, people who approach it with comedy and with a straight face. We've got all the different approaches. I just think it's fantastic. We've got all this stuff in equal great measure, so you might as well get over here and meet some of the personalities. So get over there, hit the sub buttons, ring the bells, and remember that everyone you like one of our videos, it is a direct way to let us know what you think about the show, that and leaving us with a comment. So I'll wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are, and I'll pass you on to the capable hands of Mr. Dick Dawson to take us out. Dick.
Folks, I want you all to remember, flat Earth is a disease, not a joke. Get down to your local library and get vaccinated right away. Learning is your friend. And, you know, when you got that foul stench, you can just smell it. Check your shoes. You might have a Phuket word smear on them, and you got to get that shit cleaned off. That's it for us. We're the Shills. Keep up the fight.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.